going to be Henry and Mudge and Mrs. Hopper's house. A 3-third dance. From when they were coming, Henry and his big dog Mudge loved Valentine's Day because of the candy. They liked the little candy heart that said "You're swell" and "Oh dear" and things like that. Henry read the words and Mudge licked them off. They were good teams. On this Valentine's Day, Henry's father and Henry's mother were going to sweetheart dance. Henry and Mudge would be staying with Mrs. Hopper. Mrs. Hopper lived across the street in a big stone house with droopy trees and dark windows and gargoyles on the door. Henry liked Mrs. Hopper, but he didn't like her house. Are you sure, Mudge and I can't come to sweetheart dance? Henry asked his father. Only you but promised to wear a tuxedo and shiny black shoes. And, to the blue Danube, said Henry's father. Henry looked at Bob, tried to think, imagine him a tuxedo and shiny black shoes, wedding to the blue Danube. I think we'd better go to Mrs. Hopper's. Henry said, good idea, said Henry's father, because Mudge only knew how to tap dance. Henry said with a grin. Mrs. Hopper, on Valentine's night, Henry's parents got dressed up. Henry looked at them. Whoa, Henry says, but I bet you did. No, I wasn't awesome, said Henry's dad. I did, Henry's mother said, giving him a kiss. Ugh, too much mushy stuff, said Henry. Henry said to Mike, yes, let's get to Mrs. Hopper's house quick. At Mrs. Hopper's house, Mud licked a gargoyle under the front door. Henry giggled and he didn't scare you, Mudge said. Mudge said Henry. When Mrs. Hopper opened the door, she had violin in her hand. She smiled at Mudge. She smiled at Henry. She petted Mudge. She said goodbye to Henry's parents. And Henry and Mudge ran inside. Wow, said Henry. He had never been in the Mrs. Hopper's house before. It was like a castle. There were big chandeliers and tall paintings and a green piano. And lucky for Mudge, cats everywhere. How many cats do you have, Mrs. Hopper? Asked Henry. 11, said Mrs. Hopper. All girls. Mudge looked at the cats and wagged. Mudge loves cats, Henry told Mrs. Hopper. Mrs. Hopper patted Mudge again. Mudge loves everything, she says. Henry smiled. Mrs. Hopper house wasn't bad. It was wonderful.
너 목소리 듣기 싫어 그렇게 하면.
Costume. Mrs. Hopper wasn't like anyone Henry had ever met, and she played the violin for him. She served him tea.
목 다친다.
Yeah. She told him about her father, who had been a famous actor. She was very kind to Madge. She cooked him a hot bowl of oatmeal and gave him a whole loaf of French bread. After the tea and music and oatmeal, Mrs. Hopper took them upstairs. She opened the room that had her father. "Wow," said Henry. The room was full of costumes. There were silk capes and tall hats. There were shiny coats. There were capes. There were swords and umbrellas. There were wigs. Mrs. Hopper put a wig on her, Mudge. "You look like a poodle, Mudge," Henry said. And Mudge wagged and wagged. Henry and Mudge and Mrs. Hopper spent most of the evening on costume room. They had wonderful time. And when Henry's parents came back from the dance, were they ever surprised? Mudge was a poodle and Henry was a man. Henry wore a tuxedo and a hat and shiny black shoes. "I bet you didn't know I was this handsome," Henry told him that. And everyone laughed and laughed and laughed. Hope you have enjoyed this video. Bye bye. Subscribe, please.